called Point Counterpoint, and they are going to be taking a look at all kinds of stuff. And Jungle Brother, I think this would be a good spot for him and the First Lady to bring up that Trump debate. But we can get into that a little later because once Angie hears Trump, it's like your blood in the water over here. So I got to keep the show moving. Go ahead, Fish.
We all caught up, Fish. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I said, all right, so we caught up with the chat. Now, so where are we talking? Let me ask you this. Speaking of SEC, did you hear that story about Nick Saban not allowing his graduate player to transfer to, was it Georgia? Is that where his defensive coach went to? That's the head coach? Right? Did he go to Georgia? Is that the new head coach of Georgia?
Yeah, okay. Correct.
So what happened basically? I don't know if you're aware of this, but one of the I want to say he's a cornerback, but he graduated, so he could technically still play. As far as fifth year, but Saban would not allow.
Yeah, he got another year eligibility because he probably got redshirted.
Even though he's graduated from Alabama, Nick Saban is blocking it, saying that he wanted him to play. He plans on him playing, but it's going to mess up the integrity of the SEC. Meanwhile, the player's mother was like, I see how this is. My man doesn't want to let him play or go to Georgia. Now, do you think that's a bad look for Nick Saban, or what do you think?
Well, technically speaking, overall, we can say it's a bad look for Nick Saban, but at the same time, we got to keep in mind who it is. It's Nick Saban. So if you're going to get away with it, yes. There's no different than if, Popovich wanted to block somebody getting traded from his squad or somebody getting traded to his squad. It's pretty much the same thing. When you at a certain level, you got a certain level of cachet throughout your profession, you get away with things. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that Nick Saban is going to get away with. I don't know if he's going to come out and deny it or if he's going to say, yes, it was true or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, it should be a stain on Nick Saban. But is it going to be a stain on Nick Saban through the media? No, because we all know one thing: winning cures everything. So for as long as Alabama is a formidable team and make it to the playoffs again, then no one's gonna pay attention to any of that. You have a few people like that Ninja and Jungle Brother who speak out against stuff like this happening, but it's not enough people who speaking up. There's not enough people speaking up against it, so there's nothing going to be done.
Well, the problem is that the kid is a fifth year senior, so he's already I don't know whose phone that is. Somebody's getting.
That's me. I got it covered.
That's all good. Whoever wants to get a hold of you. But
is that your friends calling, Reggie?
They might be. I'll probably facilitate that at some point. But the kid has put his 4 years at Alabama. Man, let the kid go. I think we're getting to a point. They already having issues owning these kids.
And let me just say, too, that Ninja says out in the chat room, there is a big difference in that, Fish. In the pros, you get paid, and it's a business. In college, you're supposed to be a student athlete. It's probably the worst rule in college football sports that your coach controls your destiny.
Oh, I agree. To me, the worst rule in college sports is that them dudes don't get paid. After that, I would say yes. And that's the same thing in high school, man. You know how many high school players, Gov, you played. Reg, I'm pretty sure you played some level of sports. We'll start off. But
I played in college. Thank you.
Exactly. So I'm pretty sure you both know guys who have said, "Hey, look, when they play for varsity, coach may have hid some letters from them while they were playing."
Right.
And it goes. That's what I'm saying. It even goes on in high school where you may get offers or you may get letters from your coach for whatever reason may or may not give them to you. You know what I'm saying? He may give you some and not give you others. He may not give you any. I know a dude. I went to high school with a dude named Corey Crane, and what was so sad is that he tore his knee up, and he was a start. He was a sixth man on varsity, and in our senior year, coach made him try out anyway, even though he wasn't fully recovered from his knee. And we had another guy on the squad named Mark, And Mark was a beast, but he was young, and Mark didn't even have a physical, and coach didn't make him try out. And Corey tore his knee during tryouts again. You know what I'm saying? It's sad that on these levels, other than professional, the coaches control the destiny, and that's just pretty much the way it goes. And that's why I always say, like, when it comes, like I said, I don't agree with what KD did, but when he does, so what? Because organizations do that all the time.
You know,
I'm sorry. I was just going to say here, wanted to get a couple chat mentions in here. Clay Omar Tomlin Davis. If you have value to Nick Saban, he will not let you transfer. Let's see here. He also says the NCAA stands for no cash for African Americans.
Well, what's interesting too is I know Doug had talked about how the African American players really, if they wanted to, they can actually shift the NCAA, and if they went to these historic, black colleges. But the other thing they could do is really get together and change all this BS about not allowing them to transfer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to wait out a year. I mean, I really think they could push for just different things that, look, if these, coaches, predominantly white, then they should have a rule that if a coach leaves for another job, then the players should be allowed to transfer too.
I actually think they can they? I think they can do that if the coach leaves.
Out of conference.
Out of conference.
The coach still
out of
has
conference, they can transfer and still play and play the same year.
No, they cannot. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Out of conference, they can.
You got to sit a year.
But if it's in, If it is in your conference, you have to sit a year. If it's out of conference, depending, and I think to a degree, Doug, I think you're right. I think the coach may still have to sign off on it.
Yes.
But it is messed up, man. It's messed up that these are the things that players have to deal with. But yet and still, if you are a player who maybe ends up being mediocre, they may take your scholarship away or drop you down to a partial scholarship.
That's a very,
but then
very good
when
point.
institutions do this, it's just like the only thing we have to say is, oh yeah, that's messed up, man. They should do this, but we don't have the same vitriol that we do towards the players when they have the power to make the decision, even though it may not be towards popular demand, as we do towards the institutions and the organizations.
Very good point.
Then I know that I saw an outside the line, and I'm sure it's probably switched a little bit, but there was big talk that a lot of this was going on in the SEC where, and I didn't know this, that those scholarships are year to year. They're not technically 4 years. Now, obviously,
absolutely. I talked about that.
Okay. They can't guarantee 4 years now. There are some situations where they can guarantee 4 years, but they over recruit and then they snatch these kids' scholarships. So, that's some.
It's kind of like when the airline says that they overbooked and oversold the airline seats. Same thing with them scholarships. Yeah, they are 1 year renewable scholarships, people.
Hey, Goff.
Yes, sir.
I see my bell in the chat room, man. We got to pause everything.
I was just going to say, thank you. Where are my manners? I got to first say hello to the one and only, my mama, the best mommy in the world, Miss Reese Bell from Westside Chi-Town. What's going on, Mom? And my wonderful father, Ralph Bell, all the way from Western PA, Brownsville, Pennsylvania.
Mr. Bell and Mrs.
Coal
Bell.
Country,
you,
Steel
Bell.
Country, and the biggest Steeler fan in the world. What's going on, folks?
He's a good man. Your mom's in here to probably kind of get you to stop harassing us shorter people.
My mom.
Hey, go ahead,
Fish. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I'm not sure it's this picture that Ma Bell has up, but there was another one. There was another picture she had as her profile picture. Was that your sister?
Yes, my 6'7" sister. Yeah,
I was like, yo, she is tall.
Yes, she is. And just
older
the background. Well, she's way younger. She's actually 11 years younger than I am. So we weren't horribly close growing up because she was my game ruiner. I had to babysit her instead of going out or, try and be smooth, have a little lady friend over to watch a little movie back in the old VCR days.
That Jerry curl probably ruined your game.
Man, my sister, here she comes. I'm hungry. I want some cereal. Somebody play with me. Somebody play with me and my Cabbage Patch Kid. All that nonsense. That's how old I am. I had to deal with Cabbage Patch Kids.
You sure it wasn't your Jerry curl that was ruining your game?
from a bald half-pint little sawed-off man, you really want to go there on hair, Rich?
I'm gonna say something, Vince, and you, my boy. You must be not very athletic because you 6'6", and I never hear you talk about playing basketball. And usually 6'6" black kids play ball, but you could barely tie your shoes, man.
Reggie, as short as you are, you can play handball on the curb, man. Okay, you need to be quiet. You need to be
Hey, wait a minute,
quiet.
though. Wait a minute, though. Gov, while I'm on your side, Gov, like, I do need to hear you answer that question.
Okay, I played football and I played baseball mainly growing up. I did play basketball up until 8th grade. And quite frankly, you're damn right. There was people that were a lot better at it than me. So I went over, started macking on the baseball field, and that's actually baseball was my best sport. But football, I really wish I would have stuck with football. You know, I was one of them kids. I played football my junior year in high school. I actually practiced hard, made a lot of strides. Coach was ready to actually, he told me the defensive lineman starting gig is yours next year. But I was one of them kids, Fish, that didn't do too well in going to class.
You probably was soft. That's why you didn't play football.
Reggie, the only thing soft is that nugget you call a head, okay, and everything in between it. But anyway, Fish, as I was saying before I was interrupted by Half Pint, what I was going to tell you is, you know, man, it just came down to the point, Fish, where I had to go to class. I had to pass like everything. I was one of these kids. I wasn't dumb or anything, but I just didn't apply myself, and it got down to my senior year, and I had to just focus on school, bro.
You wasn't applying yourself, Smokey?
Easy, man.
Easy.
Hold on.
You ain't applying yourself.
Come on, Craig.
Hey, Fish, this is coming right from the source. He was lazy, only interested in girls. Who's that coming from? Ma Bell. You were lazy,
what
Mickey.
did my mom say? Hold on. What did she say?
She said you were lazy and only into girls. And I'm sure the ladies are digging the barge look that you had going on back in the days.
I was lazy in school as my wife is looking at me cracking up through the glass here.
No, he had the Eric Bishop before he became Jamie Foxx.
Anyway,
I bet you had a Thriller jacket growing up, Fish.
No, I did not have a Thriller jacket.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, look, we're not going to double team on the Gov, man.
I'm telling you, man. Reggie is the animal-wearing ass. Shit.
All right, so let's switch topics real quick because I really want to hear your thoughts on this one. What are your thoughts on this?
Can the Gov grab hold of the show for a minute because I got a question for John Fisher.
Yes, you can.
All right, now since we got the Fisher man on here,
Chico.
again, thank you. If Reggie would stop talking, let me say this. First off, I want to say what up to Fish, but Fish, let's get your NBA mind going here. Russell Westbrook, man, signs on, stays for another possible 2 to 3 years in Oklahoma City. Chief, what you thinking?
I think Russell Westbrook doing that was basically his way of saying, who wants to come play with me? Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure all of y'all have heard when they asked him, hey, what you feel about Katie? He was like, ha. You know, Russell Westbrook is a rabid pit bull. And it's like I said, while I don't feel like I have the right to be mad at Kevin Durant for the decision that he made, it's still good to see that there are players like Russell Westbrook who choose to stay with the team that drafted them, who choose to stay and say, look, either it's going to work here or it ain't going to work at all. But at the same time, I will keep this in mind. Russell Westbrook will not be judged to the same standards as Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant will be judged to the standards of, did you ever win a championship? Russell Westbrook will not. He will just be judged to the standards of, man, when that dude was on the court, there was nobody more aggressive than he was. That's pretty much it. But you got to realize Westbrook's been criticized about how many shots he takes, and now that Kevin Durant is gone,
right, he
will never be criticized about how many shots he takes anymore. He won't. He'll lead the league in triple doubles next year. He'll definitely be a candidate for MVP if they make the playoffs. He might mess around and win it, but still in all, at the same time, I think that's a good move for Russell to as far as his brand goes. Like, I stayed, he left. It's almost like Cash Money and he's Lil Wayne, and Kevin Durant is